Welcome to Meet the Candidates here on WCMU. I'm David Nicholas. Our guest is Marie Fielder, the Democratic candidate for Michigan's open 106th House seat race in the redrawn district that now includes a part of Oscoda County, along with Alcona, Alpena, Montmorency, Presque Isle, and Sheboygan counties. Marie, thanks so much for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you for having me today, David.
In our first moment or so, a little bit about you, your background, hometown, and the experience you're bringing to this campaign.
Absolutely. I was born and raised in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, went to college at Northern Michigan University, and then following my undergraduate degree, I moved south of the bridge. And this is where I have called home for the past, 35 years, going on 40 years, Northeast Michigan. I currently live in Alpena with my husband, David. And I spent my career in special education at a time when integration was going on and special needs students were being integrated into public schools. So my career was mostly spent working with handicapped infants and toddlers. And then I retired in 2014. And that's when I kind of took a look at the political arena. And since the seat was open, I decided to give it a try.
Well, Alpena, as you said, is home. That's part of the district, as we noted, a lot of territory to cover up there. And as you have traveled throughout the district, what have you seen or identified, and what are the voters telling you at the doorsteps as to the top one or two issues they see in this 2022 campaign?
Well, there's absolutely no doubt that what I'm hearing from voters is concerns about affordable housing. There are many obstacles that are going on within our communities from Sheboygan on down to Greenbush that are impacting locals and their need for warm, safe, dry housing. That is a concern not just among residents, but with local governments in how to tackle those issues and address them appropriately. The problem with that, with what our local governments are facing with regards to affordable housing is the paperwork and the time that it takes to get those initiatives started. But I am pleased, especially that Sheboygan and Alpena are addressing those issues and tackling it head on, along with our state leaders. In addition to affordable housing, naturally our economy is at the top of the list of concerns. And, people want to see our economy get back to being robust, active. They want to see our workforce returning. And that is a concern, not just with citizens, but with local governments.
And really, I see a common thread there in what you've just said, and that is tied to a workforce. If the paperwork issues at the local and or state level can be cleared, and also wanting to return that economic engine back to the on position, how do we deal with what is also a lack of the workforce? How much of a population decrease has the Northeast seen, and how do you and the voters feel we need to address that to start bringing some folks back to your area?
Well, it's very complicated, right? And these are problems that are impacting not just Northeast Michigan, but the entire state. I'm a firm believer that we need to do is we need to address the issues of childcare. So many of our moms are hesitating to go back to work simply because there's a lack of affordable childcare options in our communities. I was talking with a resident who said that her childcare, this was not in Northeast Michigan, but her childcare expenses were $1,600 a month for one child, which was simply too much for them to be able to afford, even on two salaries. So we need to address the issues with affordable childcare. And we also need to ensure that our workforce is prepared, educated, ready, trained for the economy that's facing us in the 21st century. We can do that by working with our local colleges, with our students who are leaving high school, ensuring that they have a good start once they graduate and are ready to move into the workforce prepared, eager, ready, and well-trained to meet the needs of our communities. So I think it's a multifaceted approach. I don't think just one solution is going to tackle the problems that we are seeing, but we need to face it from every direction.
Well, first, another follow-up on the workforce question. Are the officials and educators in the K-12 districts and also at the community college level, are they right now adequately supplied, adequately staffed, or are there shortages there? And I'll let you address that in terms of them being able to meet a potential increase in demand for workers going into fields, again, trying to restart that workforce issue.
Well, there's no doubt our public schools are facing shortages of staff. I was pleased to see in a recent article in the Alpena News that the Alpena Public Schools system is feeling better prepared. They have many new staff on hire and are feeling a little bit more secure in that area. We need to keep that up and make sure that our public schools are not only well staffed, but that our staff are well trained and ready to work with our students to ensure that they're ready for a 21st century economy. With regards to our universities, our community colleges, our trade schools, there's no doubt that they've seen a lag in enrollment. I have heard that our local Alpena Community College has struggled getting enrollment up simply because, again, people can't find affordable housing. So again, that's why I say this is, these problems are multifaceted and we can't tackle them with just one method. I mean, we have to look at infrastructure. We have to look at all kinds of different reasons of why our economy is lagging. There are also, more programs that our citizens would like to see offered at the community college level, such as cosmetology and, maybe more science related programs of study. So there's no doubt that we have work to do, and I'm ready to tackle that as the next representative for this district.
And you brought up the issue of childcare, and all of this election is still being overshadowed by the time of the pandemic. Everything's shut down. Everybody stayed home. Are the voters telling you that as things have slowly begun to restart, that it is a lack of the childcare in terms of the numbers that went back into that work post-pandemic, or that factors from that have increased the cost? What are you seeing as the primary problem there?
Well, I'm hearing all kinds of different reasons from the voters. Childcare is one of the main reasons. But what I'm also hearing from voters is that they've kind of shifted their priorities. They have realigned their financial management, home management, to maybe accommodate a lower standard of living that they can manage by doing different kind of work or staying home maybe more often and only working part-time. I think there's definitely a shift going on. If there's anything COVID has taught us, it is that, things can be fragile in this world, and that we we maybe need to take another look at our family priorities, our community priorities, and adjust them to, fit our personal needs along with our family needs. So that's what I'm hearing from the voters. They're engaging in much more creative opportunities for employment. And, while it's exciting to see that happening, it's also an impact on our economy that I think is, you know, um, that we definitely need to keep in mind as we work to get our state back functioning in a more robust manner.
Just about 2 minutes left, and I do want to get a final message from you as well. But quickly, to take the broad snapshot of the economic stability across the district, again, post-pandemic, are there areas of encouragement or areas of concern in terms of the overall economic structure after so many things have changed that outlook statewide after COVID-19?
Well, I think it's our recovery from COVID-19 is not going to be, next month, not in 6 months, maybe not even in a year. I think it's going to continue to take us some time, not just within the state, but internationally to totally recover from COVID-19. People are continuing to die. There's so many who are unvaccinated, and that is impacting our workforce and it's impacting our healthcare system. So until our nation and international communities settle down a little bit and we get a better hold of COVID-19, I think we're going to continue to struggle. Um, but I think as we continue to work on the many issues that are impacting our economy, such as our infrastructure and rebuilding broadband and ensuring that every single corner of our state has access to high-speed broadband, our roads and bridges are updated, our water systems are updated. I think that will all impact our ability to maybe get back on track more quickly. And I think I'm very pleased with what our state is doing to address those areas. And I'm encouraged, and I think Michiganders should be encouraged.
And in our last 30 seconds, then, if you had to leave the prospective voters with one final message before they go to the polls, what would that message be?
I would hope that the voters would take a look at our platform, take a look at what we stand for, take a look at the work that we've been doing to reach as many voters as possible. What my focus is making sure that all voters are heard. Not just those who align with me politically, in the political realm, but that any voter may speak to me, and that my representation will be for everyone, for all communities, for all citizens, and that I will be transparent and honest with how I'm voting in Lansing. Whether that upsets people or makes them happy. I feel that transparency is very important in our government, and I'm looking forward to serving the people of the 106. And I am asking them to check out our platform at www.mariefielder.com.
Well, we appreciate your time in speaking to the issues and to the voters. Good luck with the rest of the campaign, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you, David, so much.
And we have been speaking with Marie Fielder, the Democratic candidate for Michigan's open 106th House District seat. I'm David Nicholas. Thank you for joining us, and remember to go out and cast your vote on Tuesday, November 8th. All qualifying candidates were invited to participate in this series. Following the redraw of Michigan House, Michigan Senate, and congressional districts, check with local officials to make sure you are properly registered. Election Day is Tuesday, November 8th.